Good afternoon. I'm gonna try not to be here too long. I'm gonna try not to be here too long with you all. Take the glasses off. Hi. Hello. How is everyone doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Come on in. Come on in. I see one person there. Say hello to me. Hello, Chosen by Christ 40. Hello, Joanne. How is everyone doing this afternoon? I hope all is well with you all. I hope you can hear me clearly. I did unhitch my Bluetooth. I unhitched my Bluetooth. So yes, press the like button. Come on in and support me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Monique. I'm a life coach, author, and speaker. And I teach women how to take responsibility for their happiness, success, and freedom. How is everyone doing today? That's my little intro. Y'all like my little intro? I had to come up with the intro. Put a 1 in the chat if you all like my intro. Because usually I just come on and start talking. You all don't know my name. You don't know what I do. Like, who is this person? Is she just talking and we don't know nothing about her? We just like what she says, but, you know, she's just chatting away. So I had to get me a little intro to just introduce myself and to let you all know who I am and what I do and where I come from. Thank you all where I come from, because I had quite a few people email me, what is your name? And I'm like, oh, wow, I don't say my name. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you, D. I'm so sorry. But listen, you all, I was sitting here thinking, about something that I've experienced as a former people pleaser. Should I say as a recovering people pleaser? As a former people pleaser. And what I mean by people pleaser is this person that is always considering, hello, Shakila. Hello, Shakila. As a person who was always considering the thoughts and the well-being and everything for other people before I considered my own feelings. I would consider people to the detriment of myself. I would worry about what people thought, and if I made a decision, how would this person feel about it? That's what I mean, people pleaser. I don't have the definition of it. Someone can look up the definition and copy and paste it here. But I know I was that. I know I was a people pleaser because I would always be so worried about what people thought of me and, you know, what they're going to say if I do this, if I do that. And it's another reason I think God called me to YouTube, because he wanted to finish annihilating that little behavior in me. Always people pleasing, afraid to say things and afraid to, you know, you're welcome. I'm happy for you, Miss Cole, because it's detrimental to your mental health when you're a people pleaser. And that's why I named this topic, This is Unhealthy. And what I want to talk about is that people pleasing spirit that we have. And that's why we have to do the work so we can unlearn that. Yes, it's so draining, Miss Cole. It's so draining because you're always worried about, you can't do things for yourself because you're so focused on other people. You're so focused on pleasing them. Like, you can't even buy things without even thinking about what somebody else is going to, how they're going to feel about this, what they're going to say. This is unhealthy. And I live and I take responsibility now. See, this is the responsibility channel. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm doing the work on me. I lived my life worried, thinking, considering. And no, I'm not selfish. I'm not saying you get to a point where you're selfish and you don't think about nobody but yourself. No, I'm not talking about that. It's impossible for us chosen ones to be that way. We just need to learn how to have boundaries. That's my favorite word of the year. Word of the year is boundaries. But we need to learn how to have boundaries. That's what we don't have as chosen ones. We don't have boundaries because we're so worried about making sure everyone else is pleased and happy with us. We have to heal from that because it's very unhealthy. It is an unhealthy way of living. And boy, when I got over that, when I tell you, when I got over that, I became so free. I became so free because you need to be who you are. When you are a people pleaser, hello, Dolores. When you are a people pleaser, people tend to use you to their advantage. They don't give a rat's butt about you. When you are a people pleaser, they like them benefits. Oh, they're going to extract those benefits. They are going to extract that energy from you. Those benefits that you provide are priceless. They don't care anything about you. They know you're going to be the one to take care of it. People have gotten so used to you as the people pleaser, they won't even do the things they need to do because they know you got it. Oh, you the person that's going to pay for everything. You the person that's going to book everything. You're the person that's going to clean everything. You're the person that's going to say yes to everything. Even if you got your own stuff you need to do. Stop that. It's unhealthy. You don't know how to say no. Hello, Felicia. You don't know how to say no. And it's costing you your mental health because you're so worried about what people are going to think. Your house is the house that everybody has to go to every year. You have to be the one to clean up no. Excuse me. No. We have to stop this. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for you to, excuse me, for you to start anything and do anything. Listen, let's stop this. It is so unhealthy. You don't even know what you like anymore. You don't even do things you like anymore because you're so worried about other people. You're so worried about pleasing others. You're not even yourself. You're so much of a people pleaser. People control how you behave around them. You change your entire existence because people around you want you to be a certain way. They want you to look a certain way. They want you to keep up this image. And you try to because you're trying to please them. You try to. And it's unhealthy. It's breaking you down. The first order of business before this year is out. Exactly. And that's a good move, Hope. That's a good move. Because see, as a people pleaser, as a former people pleaser, what we do is, listen, what we do is, I did it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't have nothing to hide. When I tell you, I don't have nothing to hide. I mean nothing. I'm transparent. Some stuff now I can't. A lot of things I have to be, discreet about because this is a public platform, But as far as being honest, and I be more vulnerable, like in my coaching sessions with my, with my group coachings and with my coaching sessions, I'm more vulnerable and personable because I want people to see that they're not alone and the mistakes I've made. So if you book a coaching session, you probably find out something. If I'm led by God, you'll probably find out something like, I can't believe she told me that. And I don't want you to look at me differently because this is just my story. This is my progress, my process. And I don't want you all to judge me based on some of the things that I'll share with you all. But when I'm led, I have to say it. I can't be disobedient. Right? But the point, let me see, I forgot the point I was trying to make. When you're a people pleaser, oh yes, when you're a people pleaser, you forget who you authentically are. You forget who you are authentically because you morph and change into who people want you to be. One thing that I've learned in this life is give people the freedom to be who they are. It is not your job, even your children, give them the freedom to be who they are. Don't try to change people. Don't try to force people to be who you want them to be. I had to learn that. That's something I had to learn because I became so many things to people all my life. I didn't want to go and do a whole lot of things because I knew people would be mad at me. They wouldn't want to be around me if I just did the things I wanted to do. If I stepped out and just flourished and did what it is that I wanted to do. I held myself back because I didn't want nobody upset. I didn't want nobody to say, I think I'm all that. I didn't want people to say I thought I was better than them. I held myself back. I didn't do a lot of things that I know that is in me to do because people didn't support me. They didn't affirm me. I wanted everybody affirmation. I don't wait for affirmations now. I give notices. Like my spiritual mentor, online mentor, Lisa Nichols said, I don't go and ask people for permission. I give notices. And that is, you'll find out when I do it. Only people I keep closely involved in what I'm doing are my girls, my daughters. I talk to them about things. Sometimes I don't share everything. I'll just do it. But my daughters, I just keep them informed. I talk to my babies about stuff or ask them, tips because your children are smart. My daughters are very smart. They're very intelligent. So I ask them how I should do this, how I should do that. I'm not too prideful. These kids are smart. They know. They may not have the experience you have, but they can see and they can teach you how to do things different or better, or you can get their advice. But yeah, yes, some of you all, you want to do things. You want to do so many things. You want to travel. You want to start that business. You want to start that YouTube channel, which you need to be starting. But you're so afraid because your family's going to come look. Your friends may say, who do you think you are? Or I wouldn't, you're so afraid of the judgment and criticism that you're paralyzed with fear. And I was like that. Excuse me. I was like that for years. I let fear paralyze me. I stayed stuck. I stayed stuck for years because I was so busy catering to other people, catering to their emotions, their behaviors, their feelings. I used to be so afraid. That's why I came to deliver this message, so we can break that, Shantae. We're gonna get over that. And once you take that first step of forgetting them folks and not worrying about what they think of you. Once you take that first step, it's going to be like crack. I couldn't find nothing else to say. It's going to be like you taking that first hit of something that's going to get you a high, and you're going to see what peace it brings. You're going to see the strength you get every time you conjure up the muscle and the strength to do what it is you need to do. You're going to find yourself being empowered. And you're going to be like, you know what? Let people talk. They've been talking anyways. And the main thing, what helped me, I had to realize people was already talking about me. They were already saying things I didn't want them to say. So why not do what I wanted to do? They were already lying on me. They were already slandering me. They were already doing. So why I'm going to let them stop me from doing what it is I know God put in me? They were already saying I think I'm all that. They were already saying I think I'm better. They were already saying that. So why allow the fear of what people stop me? Oh, I had to fight. When I tell you, that's not an easy fight. I'm not going to sit here and talk as if that is something easy to do. It is easy for the people who didn't have to grow up in trauma, who didn't have to grow up in abusive families and abusive, had to deal with abusive relationships. It may be easy for you all, but for the ones who've experienced trauma, who was brought up in these family systems that don't support your emotional well-being, it's hard for us. It is hard for us not to care. And sometimes the people who say and pretend they don't care, they be caring. They do. They be caring. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't say you did not care. You would just show that you didn't care. Whenever a person keeps saying, oh, I don't care what they say about me. I don't care what they say about me. You care. You care. It's the ones that serving notices. The ones that serving notices and doing what they want to do, regardless of what people think, regardless of what they're going to say. Because at the end of the day, you have to go to sleep with you. You have to be happy with you. Oh, I used to be one of them ones. I used to be so worried. Because see, when you're a chosen vessel, right? You have to learn the difference when it comes to being empathetic and considering people, and you just straight up fearful of people and their thoughts and what they're going to say. Because empathy, you're supposed to be empathetic. You're supposed to consider people and be considerate if they're going through grief, or if they're going through a family challenge, if they're going through something. You're supposed to be empathetic with people. But you're not supposed to be worried, too overly concerned about what people are going to think of you. If you just decide to change your hair color, if you decide you want to lose weight, if you decide that you want to put on some weight, if you decide you want to change that, start that business, if you decide you want to leave that toxic relationship. Some of y'all in relationships, you should have been left, but you're so worried about what people are going to think. And you're in that thing just marinating in toxicity. You're about to melt away. You're about to melt completely away from here. But you're so worried about what people going to think. You're so worried about what mama going to think. You're so worried about what the church folks going to think. You have to live in that. You have to get up every day in that. But you so worried about what people are going to think. Hey, Keisha, you're about to lose your mind, and you worried about what people are going to think. One thing I had to learn this year. Oh, no, not this year. 2020. In 2020, one of the hardest things I had to learn, and I had to fight. When I tell you I had to fight, I had to fight like I was being jumped. You know, back in the school when I grew up, we had this thing in the hood of where I grew up. It wasn't that hood, but we say the hood, the neighborhood. We had this thing, one fight, we all fight. So therefore, the person was getting jumped. When I finally made the decision to say, you know what? When we used to say, bump this, forget this, bump it. It felt like I was being jumped. It did. It felt like I was being jumped spiritually and in the natural. When I made that decision in 2020, I said, you know what? I'm no longer going to put my life on pause because I'm worried about what people are going to say. I'm worried about pleasing people. Oh boy, when I did that, it was up from there. I grew so much spiritually because, spiritually, you have to grow before that thing manifests on the outside. You got to do that inner work first. And I had to stop caring what people were going to think. I had to stop caring what people are going to say. I had to stop trying to appear to like I got things together. No, I stopped that. If I'm going through something, guess what? This is just what I'm going through. I don't have to pretend that my life is together. I don't have to pretend I'm not hurt. I don't have to pretend that I'm not feeling down about this situation. When I let go, I let go of everything, of trying to keep things together so people on the outside can see. No, I let go of when I tell you I let go of everything, I mean everything that I was trying to protect, I was trying to hide, and I just let it be. And my healing journey started. I've been on the healing journey, but I just went to another level. I stopped worrying about what people were going to say about me, because I finally put up boundaries for my life, for my mental health. I finally put up boundaries with people who didn't want to be in sync with me in my life, only wanted to cause problems and confusion. I stopped allowing people who had negative energy to enter into my life. And that'll be another video where I'm going to teach you all and talk to you all about trusting your energy. Trusting what you feel, and stop denying what you feel around people. Trust yourself. Oh, it was the hardest thing. The hardest thing for me to do was to start trusting me. Trusting the energy that people gave off. People could pretend to be someone else, but their energy will never lie. Their energy will never lie. People could come tell you every day. Every day they come to you, tell you they love you. But that energy is telling you something else. Their energy is telling you something else. You got to listen to that. Stop ignoring. You're conflicted. You got to pull back. No, you don't have to say, you know what, I see you. You don't have to go all out and just Start saying things. Pay attention and pull back. And start observing behavior. Start observing behavior. The best thing I did for myself back in 2020. Let me tell you the best thing I did for me. I faced my reality and I accepted the reality for what it was. I let go of what I couldn't control. And I started doing the work on me. I stopped putting everybody else feelings, their well-being before mine. I had to unlearn that it's selfish to put myself first, because I was putting everybody before me. I was worried about everybody else, calling, reaching out. You that person that call everybody. I'm just calling to check on you, see how you doing. I'm just texting, you that person. Oh, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that because people have energy for everybody else. I stopped putting forth energy into relationships that were not reciprocal. Oh, I stopped putting energy in those. Only folks I reach out to now are the people when my spirit speaks to me. Not out of obligation of saying, let me just call them because, see, I don't want them to say, no, I don't do that no more. I don't feel obligated to reach out to folks. If my spirit, if the Lord put somebody on my mind and my spirit, I'll reach out to them. Hey, I'm just checking on you, see how you doing. But I don't put forth no more effort anymore. When people don't put effort, I don't put effort. I don't get into relationships that are one-sided anymore. I don't do friendships that are one-sided. I cultivate the relationships that are beneficial and that are reciprocal, and the people that I cherish. Hey, Keosha. The people that I cherish and who cherish me, who reach out to me. When I get off this live, I got to reach out to a friend, my old neighbor. She always call and check on me, always texting me. So I got to pick up the phone. I have to call her. She's an older woman, so I'm going to call her and make sure I check on her. But I stopped. When I tell you my life has been so peaceful. And another thing that helped me, I stopped going places where I'm not welcome. I stopped going places where I'm not welcome. I stopped being around people where I'm not welcome. Because it drains your energy when you have to be in pretend mode. When you have to override what you're feeling. When you have to override, these people don't care for you. I don't care who they are. When you have to override knowing and feeling that these people got an issue with you, whatever their issue is that's unspoken, they got an issue with you, you still subject yourself. Because, see, people could accept everyone else. They can accept everybody else. They tolerate everybody else. But when it comes to the chosen, you vex people. Your very essence. You're not doing anything that nobody else is not doing. You got people cutting up, doing all kind of foolery. They doing all kind of foolery. All kind of stuff. All kind of crime. They commit all kind of crime. Credit card scheme, lying, stealing, all kind of stuff. But when it comes to you, because you seem like you too righteous, you too good, you think you better. No. You vex people because you walk in righteousness. You walk in trying to do what's right. And to them, the unhealed and the miserable, to them, You making them look bad. You make them look bad because you walking around with your little light and stuff. You got your little lamp on, your little oil. You got your oil burning. You doing the work on you. People can feel that energy, that good, thriving energy. They can feel that. And they mad because you oiling your lamp. You doing the work. That's another message too that I'm going to do. I don't know when I'm getting all, I don't know when I'm going to do all them downloads. Just help me. Y'all bear with me. The unproductive will always hate the productive. The unwilling will always hate the willing. The ones who say it doesn't take all of that will always hate the ones that says it takes all of that. So you have to learn, and this is what I had to learn. I had to learn. That's when I think God put me on YouTube, because he knew these internet streets gonna make a woman out of me. Just the thought of being on the internet, people could say whatever, they can lie, they can do whatever, create fake pages, all that. And he said, you know what? You still are going to have to do what it is I said to do. You got to forget about the lies. Yes. Forget about the lies. Forget about people sharing your videos in their DMs, texting your video links. And that's okay, because that's what it's for. This is a public platform. So anything is expected. But the ones that don't have intentions, girl, let me tell you, let me see, she don't say it this. Them ones. Thinking you're talking about them. Them ones. I had to put on me some lip gloss. Them ones right there. But that's okay. Them ones that sit back and mad and jealous and hating on you because you're using your voice to bring about change. You using your experiences that they may be a part of to bring about change. But that's okay, because you still got to do, and this the message. You can't worry about what people say. You can't worry about what they do. You just can't. You have to do what's beneficial to you. You have to do what's going to bring you peace. Because you do everything that bring everybody else peace. As long as everybody else is happy and you sitting back mad because you're afraid to say no, you don't want to do it this time, or no, you don't want to go, you feel obligated because you're so used to people please. You don't want people talking about you. Let your no be no. That's right, she reigns. Forget them folks. Let your no be a strong no. I remember the first time I said no, I felt so guilty. The first time I said no to something, I felt guilty. And I had to sit down with those feelings and ask myself, do I want to do it? Or do I want to do it because they want me to do it? I just felt so guilty. Hey, JR, where have you been? I felt so guilty. And I had to sit with them feelings. I said, you know what, Monique? Your problem is you always worried about how people feel. You got to stop that. That's why I tell y'all to journal. Man, journaling will help. Journaling would help. Get that I am responsible self-reflection guide for free off my site. Those questions will help you all. Yes, yes, it's manipulation. And they will manipulate you and gaslight you, Keisha. Yes, they will. Just to get their way. And they sit there, who? That no, when I first started saying no, it felt good. Remember that little commercial, set it and forget it? What was that, a crock pot? It was a crock pot, I think. There was a commercial. That infomercial still stuck in my head from when I was a little girl. On the infomercial. Remember they used to have little infomercials at night up selling stuff? And they had this little, I think it was a crock pot. Set it and forget it. And you set it. When you set them no's, you set it and forget it. You got to build up that muscle because your people-pleasing muscle is so weak. It's weak. You got to build it up. Just start saying no and don't explain. Stop. Don't give no explanation, because sometimes we go into this, we got to tell you why. Oh, yeah, Keisha, they sure will. Oh, I've been exercising, I know. Listen, and I don't feel bad either. It feels good. I'm finally in the place that I can honestly say it feels so good to be in a place to where I'm not feeling obligated to be the manager of somebody's emotions. It feels good. It feels good to not to be worried about. I mean, this is why people be stressed, man. That's why a lot of folks on these medications. If we can get to this point right here, we can eliminate some of that stuff. Because when you are a people pleaser, you carry everybody's burden. You carry everybody's burden. And that's a weight that you shouldn't have to carry. That's not your responsibility. You're managing everybody's feelings around you. You trying to manage the feelings of the people they connected to. It's like, when I tell you I'm at a good place. Oh, it was hard to get here. Oh, it was hard. It was hard. And when I tell you it was hard, it was hard. I had to go through this year. I had to go through one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make in my life. It was the hardest decision ever. But you know what? That was the best decision I could have ever made. For my mental health. For my well-being. Because I was trying to consider everybody else. How would this affect that person? How would this affect this person? What about this? What about that? When I tell you, the best decision. Oh, it was hard. I didn't see no way out. I was like, Lord. It's like the storm analogy. Especially in Florida. Florida, you experience all the seasons. Except winter. You experience summer, spring, and fall within 1 hour. In Florida, you do. But it's just like the analogy I gave when, you know how you ride, you're riding on the road and there's a storm, you ride into the storm, and only thing you could see, only place you could see driving is the road in front of you. You can't see what's to the side of you, to the right, to the left. You only could see what's in front of you. And the storm is so thick, you don't think the storm is going to end. It's like, Lord, did I make the right decision? Should I go back? You can't go back because you can't make a U-turn because it's storming and you can't see in the back. So you got to keep going forward. That's how I was. I was like, got to keep going forward. I can't go back. I can't, change my mind. And you keep driving. I kept driving. I kept going. And I saw a little light, you know, saw a little light, the little sunshine peeking through the storm, through the clouds. Then I kept going. The rain stopped a little bit. Then I kept going. The clouds cleared up. Then I kept going. The road started getting dry. The road was dry in certain places. Then before you know it, it's just sunny on the other end. Sunshine on the other end. That's how it is. You know, when you driving through that storm, you can't see. But if you keep going, because the storm don't last always. It don't last always. But if you keep going, you can get to the other side. It'll be clear over there. It's so clear, you get the understanding of why you had to go through the storm. You get all type of revelation. Like, you get all kind of revelation. But you got to go through the storm. And see, for years, I used to duck and dodge and run from the storms. And the storms are just the hard things in life. I used to run, duck and dodge. I used to be afraid. Didn't want no conflict, people pleasing. Didn't want to confront people. No confrontation. You wouldn't catch me confronting nobody about nothing. Not directly on. I'll be passive with it. Passive aggressive. I never did confront directly. I didn't. I used to run from that. Oh boy, when Lord told me, you're gonna stop. One thing about God, when God wake you up, He gonna have you to be the opposite of who you think you are. Of who you are. If you are quiet, He's gonna give you a voice. If you're afraid of conflict, He's gonna make you confrontational. If you're an introvert, He's gonna put you out in people when He wanna use you. And sometimes He'll use how you are, but He's gonna give you the confidence and the boldness. Now we're gonna address this directly. Directly. But it gets better. And you can have more clarity. In the storm, you can't think. That's why you got to go through it. You can't think in the storm. You can't make good decisions in the storm. Whatever your storm is, you know you can't think because it's so painful. The emotions are so heavy. You can't think clearly. You can't think clearly. You can't make sound decisions in no storm. That's why you got to keep walking. Keep walking until you get through the storm. Then you can look back on the storm and be like, I'm glad I went through that. It didn't feel good in the moment, but I'm glad I went through it. Exactly, Dolores. And that's foolish for us to do. I did it. I did it for years. And it still wasn't enough. You will never be enough to people who don't appreciate what it is that you have. That don't mean that people won't appreciate it, but to the person that you want to appreciate it and who can't see it, you'll never be enough to them.